Hey guys, Humble back again. Welcome to day 2 in the life of the Samsung Galaxy S23 FE. Currently doing babysitting duties, but we gotta pump out these day in the life videos. So today I'm gonna talk about 7 things I like about the Galaxy S23 FE and 7 things that I do not like about this phone. But before doing that, just want to give a quick shout out to my partner, Mint Mobile. Currently, they offer 5G plans for as low as $15 a month. So make sure to check them out. Link in the description below. And currently, if you buy 3 months, you get 3 months free. This is a limited uptime holiday offer good until January 1st. So be sure to check them out before the offer expires. Okay, switching over to the wide angle camera. This little guy is not cooperating, so we will do it freestyle. First thing I like about the phone is the price. It is listed at $600 and you get about 90% of what you would get from the $800 to $1,000 Galaxy S23 when those were first released. The only caveat there is it's almost been a year and the S24 is around the corner. So you can probably find the S23 series for at least $100 to $200 off, if not more. At this point, there's always random deals throughout the year. So it kind of puts the S23 FE at a weird price point. But at the same time, if you're just buying it straight list price, I think $600 is a good starting point. Since its announcement in October 2023, it's been Black Friday deals and Christmas deals, holiday deals. You can easily get this phone $500, maybe even $400 or less in some cases. So anyway, $600 is a great starting point, but you can definitely get the phone even cheaper. That is the first thing I like is the price. I generally don't like to pay more than $1,000 per smartphone, especially you can get something just as capable in the $600 range or less. And with Samsung phone in general, you're always getting one of the best displays that smartphones have to offer. They make displays for other companies like Apple. So Samsung, you're getting a great display and no issues seeing outside, no issues seeing it at night. If you want it to be super dim, it's pretty comfortable for the eyes. Getting the best of the best just in terms of smartphone display with Samsung. Third thing I do like about this phone is the chip. Technically, it is a year-old chip. It is a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 from 2022. At the same time, I feel that it is faster and more efficient than even the Google Pixel 8 that just recently came out. Pixel 8, the list price is $700. And when I use the Pixel 8, doing little things like playing games and switching between apps, it would often reset the game that I'm playing, which is really annoying. Sometimes you're in the middle of playing a game, you just want to respond to a quick text or just message somebody briefly on Snapchat. When you switch back, you hope to resume the game. But on the Pixel 8, it would always restart. But with the S23 FE, it is pretty fast, efficient. I can multitask the spine, switch between apps without worrying it restarting. So I do like that. For the price, you're getting a pretty capable camera as well with all the bells and whistles. You get director's mode. You can record your current view that you're looking at. You can record yourself at the same time. It has the single take mode where you record a 10 to 15 second clip. It will generate a bunch of photos and video clips. You can throw in some music and effect for you if you can't decide if you want to take a picture or Snapchat or record a short video. That one pretty much does it all in 10 to 15 seconds. Many favorite feature of mine that is fun to use. I know like in the Galaxy A54 series, they do remove some features like video portrait mode and all that. But in the S23 FE, you're getting the full bells and whistle in terms of camera offerings. Although one thing I do miss is just using the Pixel 8 and even Pixel 7a on Android 14, I like how they divide all the camera settings between camera and video. They got 2 buttons at the bottom. So you click on camera, you get all the camera option. You click on video, you get all the video option. Versus Samsung right now, and even over the last 20 years, I guess, or however long they've been around, all the features are just in one single line. So if you're just going through the option, you don't know exactly which one is video, which one is photo. So you kind of have to play around with that. Just a minor thing I wanted to point out, but it's not the end of the world. I think Google just categorize better and organize better. But Samsung have way more camera features by default compared to Pixel phones. fifth thing that I do like is the wireless charging actually do work on this phone. It's only 5-watt wireless charging, but the phone overall is pretty efficient. So when I'm sitting at my desk, I have a work from home job, I just leave it on my wireless charger and I always have plenty of battery by the end of the day. But when I have Pixel's phone, those phones generally run pretty hot. So even if it's sitting on a wireless charger, it either doesn't pick up any charge or it still loses battery. So I'm glad to see that wireless charging does work. Or even the OnePlus Open, a $1,700 phone doesn't have wireless charging. The OnePlus 11 did not have wireless charging either. I'm usually not a big wireless charging guy, but if it's there, I'll use it. If it's not the end of the world. But in this case, wireless charging helped with the desk job. I can just leave it there, work normally, and by the end of the day, still have a full battery life and not even have to worry about charging or plugging it in. I know first world problems. I have cables everywhere that I can just easily plug in anytime I want. And with the Galaxy S23 FE, I also like the fact that you're getting 5 years of security update, only 4 years of software update. I would have liked to see 5 years as well, given the fact that this phone is coming out Android 13 by default, and Pixel already is on Android 14. So by going to 14, which it hasn't yet, is going to count as one update and is already technically behind. I mean, year to year, these software updates don't really change that much. Good thing they do update the security pretty often, but one change I do hope to see within Android 14 for Samsung is that if they can group the camera settings similar to the way that Pixel phone is doing it on Android 14. Separate reason I like about the Galaxy S23 FE is that it has IP68 water resistant. I mean, these things are all just common and expected, but a lot of these features are usually found in flagship phone at $800 and above. Within the $600 range, you tend to see them get sacrificed a lot, so it's nice to see that Samsung does include it. You see that even folding phones, those phones cost $1,000 to $2,000. Sometimes they sacrifice water resistant, sometimes they sacrifice dust resistant. This one offers both, so I do like that. Alright, now let's talk about some of the things I do not like about this phone. I don't like the fact that it is an older chip. I mean, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 is still fast and efficient, but it would have been nice to see them use the current chip in 2023, given the fact that in a couple months when the S24 come out, that phone is going to have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, so it will make this phone feel 2 years older, even though this recently came out. It's kind of a minor complaint here. Second thing I don't really like with all the Samsung phone in general is the camera module kind of stick out a little bit, so when you're using it on the table, it does wobble. Unless you're using a case that is flush, then everything will be fine. I personally prefer to use my phone without cases so that I can get a true feel of the phone, experience it the way that it was meant to be made with all the design and aesthetic versus slapping a $10 plastic case on it. That's just my own personal preference, but for most people, if you're spending $600 to $2,000 phone, it is usually a smart idea to protect it with some phone cases. Once again, first world problem. I don't like the wobbling, but it's not the end of the world. This phone only have 1450 peak brightness compared to the 1750 on the regular S line, and it's not noticeable by any means. I can use it in the sun just fine. But in the world where the iPhone 15 have 2K nits peak brightness, the OnePlus Open have 2800 peak brightness, suddenly Samsung phone is starting to feel much more inferior, even though they have really good smartphone display. So just something I want to briefly call out. And I know the OnePlus 12 around the corner, I forgot what they were hinting at, like 3000 or 4000 nits peak brightness, something insane. I feel like after 1700, you already kind of reached the peak point. I'm not sure, like 2000, 3000, 4000 gonna make that much of a difference. In theory, it should. But even at 1450 peak brightness, I can see it outside in the sun just fine. And Samsung phone have good displays, so we're not worried about that. Next thing I don't like is the face unlock. I mean, it works fine, but coming from the OnePlus Open, the fact that OnePlus have a much faster face unlock. Once I just swipe the screen, it just unlocks and goes straight to the home screen. Samsung is a little bit slower. There's some animation. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it asks me for my fingerprint, my swipe passwords. So it's kind of hit or miss in terms of face unlock. I just find that OnePlus does it better. You okay, buddy? And fifth thing I don't really like, this is kind of a personal preference, is the phone is slightly too large. I like the 6.1-inch display on the S series, easier to use with one hand. This one is 6.4 inches, which is fine, is slightly smaller than the Galaxy S23 Plus at 6.6, but I think 6.3 might be the sweet spot for me. 6.1, I admit, is probably a little bit on the smaller side, but just me typing with this phone in general, I feel like it's just a tad too wide. I had to stretch my finger all the way over just to hit the enter button or the send button, and as a result, it does lead to some accidental touches. The act of me bending my finger over, my palm might graze the edge, and sometimes I feel like I have to really make that stretch, and that does result in me having to go back and resend the text or resend the Snapchat. So something pretty minor, but if you use it with two hands, it's fine. It's just some, in weird situation, one-handed use can be a little funky, but you have bigger hands, then not going to be a problem. Next thing I don't really like is, once again, personal problems, a first world problem, is I do like the fact that at night you can dim the screen really low so that it doesn't hurt your eyes if you're using it in the dark. But sometimes if you're on the lowest brightness setting and then you walk outside in the bright sunlight, it is so hard to find where that brightness adjustment bar is. And sometimes I find that I need to cover my phone or go into some dark place to adjust the brightness setting, because it can get really dim and also it can get really bright. And by default, I originally had this as one of the things I do not like. So this is technically number 7, but you can remove it, because I realized that once you use face unlock, if you're using it in the middle of the night, the screen does get really bright and it can hurt your eyes a bit. But I realized that you can go into setting and just turn off that brighten display option by default. So that is no longer a problem. But I was too committed with the 7 and 7. I'm pretty sure I can find some other random thing I don't like, but for now, it's only day 2. It's not my final review or anything like that. Just some of my quick initial thoughts I wanted to share. Let me know if you guys find this video to be helpful. Please check out day 1 if you haven't already. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to cover. Remember to like and subscribe, and see you guys in the next video.